the show. And I'm Scott Zambelli, creator of Emmanuel God With Us comic book series, which is one issue in, so I can't really call it a series yet.
Yeah, well, I forgot to start our other camera, so
yeah, that's okay. So, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hey, I'm Brett Pinson. I'm back. I've returned.
Creator of Carl and
The Adventures of Carl, Boomtown Scabs, The Expendables. Eventually, we'll get an odd book out for you guys. We got to talk about that again. But on a quick note, we've been in discussion this morning, and we will be making announcements soon. And for all you people out there, especially Sue, not Williams, because I'm sure she does too, but the other Sue that listens, we're going to get some t-shirts going for you guys.
Yes, excited about that.
We'll get that going. You can order them online and have them shipped to you directly.
Yes, we're moving into the final phase.
Yes, finally on that.
The Odd Musings t-shirt, which people have been
clamoring for. Yeah, all like three of you.
All three of you.
So we'll get you that going there too. And
we have an awesome guest calling in today at 10:15. John Clark, a good friend of ours, and we'll be talking a little bit about his background, but he's had a house fire, lost a lot of stuff, so there's a GoFundMe page, so we're going to be talking about that, and we will be posting the links to that GoFundMe in the comment section of our feed. So,
but first, I think Janice wants us to go over our sponsors because she's watching. Hi, Janice. So I'm going to start off with Loringer Family Chiropractic, one of our great sponsors. I was just there yesterday getting adjusted after working hard all weekend in that crazy weather we had here in Michigan. It was January all weekend. For those that were in Michigan, didn't know that. But your journey to wellness begins here. You can build a healthy lifestyle with chiropractic care. At Loringer Family Chiropractic Center PC, they take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. They offer on-site digital x-rays, massage therapy. They have orthotics by foot levelers, Young Living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all with a family-oriented environment. Located in Belleville, Michigan and Dexter, Michigan, give them a call, 734-697-4244 to set up an initial consultation. If you're not in the area, you can still give them a call or visit them at LoringerFamilyChiropractic.com and say, hey, this is where I live at. Do you know anybody near me? Because they know people all over the country. So Loringer Family Chiropractic. Check them out on oddmusings.com under our sponsor page.
That's right. Check them out. And our other sponsor on the show is International Minute Press in Plymouth, Michigan. They print, promote, and design you. Artist owned and operated. Joe and his team understand what it takes to build team enthusiasm and brand awareness. If you are looking for custom and printed materials such as hats, t-shirts, mugs, and more, IMP of Plymouth is the company to help you. Contact them today for a competitive pricing quote. Mention Odd Musings to receive 20% off your next order. They're located at 1058 South Main Street in Plymouth, Michigan. Their phone number, 734-414-6203. Or visit them online at www.myprinter.intlminutepress.com or in store to learn more about the services they offer. For the latest happening, that sentence.
You can skip all that part. Basically, look on oddmusings.com.
Go to
under
the
sponsors page, and you can find International Minute Press.
Yeah, we have the links.
And don't forget to use the code oddmusings to save some money. And if you give Joe some gruff, he'll give you an extra 5% off.
I don't believe that is true, but
okay.
But give him gruff, and we'll applaud you.
Yes. Let us know what kinds of crap you give Joe. We like Joe, and he needs more crap given to him.
So just before the show went on our live stream segment, we were talking a little bit about some stuff we did this week, and we both been enjoying Lost in Space on Netflix. You finished the series. There's 10 episodes.
I did. Yesterday morning I got up and watched the last 3.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I'm through episode 8 right now.
Yep.
And we're not going to give any spoilers, but I'm definitely very happy with the show.
It's a reimagining, of course, because it's been over 50 years since the original series. I like the direction they've gone with all the characters. We're getting more backstory. They've added some different things to them. We saw a great little guest spot with Bill Mumy, played the original Will Robinson.
Yeah.
He's in it just for a moment, so you do catch him really quick.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff there.
But I like everything about it, and I think I'm looking forward to the second season now. Once you see the ending of it, you'll understand why. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just going to be fantastic, and I'm liking the direction they're going with it.
Awesome. And then talking about end of seasons, Walking Dead had their season finale. Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I fell asleep.
Actually, I haven't watched this whole second half of season 8. I have not watched.
I know Dominic loves it, but well, Dominic doesn't matter. It's not his show, so hey.
No, there's nothing wrong with people like it. Nothing
and
wrong.
if you like it, it's great.
But
I've been disappointed in the writing, disappointed in the storytelling. I felt the way they treated Chandler Riggs as an actor, as well as his character, was wrong.
Yeah,
it's fine. You want to kill him off, but they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have set him up in real life, saying, "Hey, we're going to do this with you for the next 2 years."
Yeah, the behind the scenes stuff is a little troubling to me.
Yes.
But what should be troubling to the network is this. When you looked it up, this is the only season finale that rated lower was season 1.
Right.
And,
from season 1 all the way through season 5 is they had kept going up. From there, started going down, and that's when Scott Gimple took over. And that's where we're seeing a decline in the storytelling as well as the ratings. And I think it's definitely something that,
So hopefully, I don't know, Walking Dead is a powerhouse show. It still has a lot of backing to it.
Deirdre says the second half was better than it was way better, but at the same time, I thought it was better because they got rid of the flashbacks that meant nothing. Once we found out they meant nothing, it was just all Carl's dream,
right?
And it wasn't a foreshadow of what was going to happen,
right?
And the second half had to be better because they had to get to where they did in the final episode, right? That was the whole point of getting there. And personally, they could have got there faster.
I got to imagine though, behind the scenes right now, they're between seasons now. I got to believe the network is saying, okay, what do we got to fix to get us back to where we were? Because I can't believe they're going to keep on the same trajectory and keep losing. If anything, I really hope they can turn it around, get Walking Dead back to where it was, and then end it. End it on a high note. Go out in a blaze of glory.
My speculation is we're looking at season 9 and 10 as the last 2 seasons. They could continue on further.
Yeah, that's Brett's speculation.
That's my speculation. That's my speculation. But and the reason is they'll come out next year. They'll set stuff up that way they can bring in the following year to end it as a good hard season. I think in some ways they're going to need to because the actors themselves I think are starting to wanting to move on. In some ways, when I'm watching the way their performances are, the performances had felt like off a little bit to me anyways. And I know they're all very grateful for the show. They're grateful for the opportunity to continue to do it.
Oh, yeah.
But you do get to a point where actors after a while want to leave. So.
Yeah, definitely. Another indicator of how the show is doing, too, is my art sales.
Yeah.
Like, my Walking Dead used to sell great, and this last 2 years they barely sell.
Well, it's also and then also Facebook. It used to be you could, after if I was going on a weekend show or something that was on, I couldn't look at Facebook. Yeah. Nobody was posting about Walking Dead. I saw 2 posts about the finale, and that was it.
Yeah, whereas before
it was
you'd have to hide.
My feed was just filled.
Yeah, I agree. So a little sad, but hopefully they turn it around. I really would love the show again.
Yeah.
And other than that, enough of Walking Dead. You got to see School of Rock, the play.
Yeah, the musical play. It's here at the Fisher in Detroit. It's going on through this Sunday, April 22nd. And if you're in the area, or if you know it's coming to your area, go see this. This thing was phenomenal. If you like the original Jack Black, you'll like this one. The guy that played the main character, Dewey, was phenomenal that we saw. And he was actually the fill-in guy for only a few episodes, but he had done School of Rock on Broadway, so he was fantastic.
Awesome.
I actually, it's Broadway Cares right now, so afterwards, I spent $40 and bought the poster that the entire cast signed.
Oh, cool!
And as we were leaving, there's a few cast members out, mostly the kids, but they're that you can get a selfie with. I didn't do because it was like $20. I was like, well, I just spent $40. I'm good.
Right.
But the gal that plays the principal of the school was outside. And I went up to her and said, "You're the principal, right?" She goes, "Oh yeah." She was already out of her stuff. She had just a little bit of makeup. She was dressed in sweats and that. And I just looked at her and said, "This was the most phenomenal musical ever. You guys did such a great job."
A lot of them.
Yeah, so and it was great. The kids were awesome because it's a lot of kids because you only got the full cast. And there's times the kids aren't playing the instruments. They say the kids always do. The kids are really playing their instruments. There's times they don't because you can tell they had to supplement because of things they're doing. But during the Battle of the Bands, if you know the movie, this is where everything's leading to is the Battle of the Bands. They're playing everything.
So they're live playing. That's cool.
Yeah. It was. In fact, you could tell to one point because if you look down in the orchestra, you see the guy that had the keyboard, and then there's a couple down there, and they're standing up, and the whole time they're they're doing the rock thing. They're like this the whole time, showing basically they're not playing.
Right.
And so the kids were really playing at that point, and they were awesome. I mean, just really great.
Cool. Now with that, you have a package, don't you?
Yeah, this is separate. We did this was in the Detroit package, which we didn't do the Detroit package. We just did 2 individual plays. We did Finding Neverland, and then we just did School of Rock. For Toledo, we have a season thing, and our next one there is in June. We're going to go see Wicked, which is like the 6th time for Mom, 5th time for me.
So I'm guessing you like it
a little bit. I like Wizard of Oz, and this is
Wicked takes on the story what happens after.
No, before.
Oh, before.
This is supposed to be the untold story of the Wicked Witch of the West and how she became the Wicked Witch of the West, and so it tells her story of living in Oz. You do meet a lot of the same characters and stuff like that. So,
and do you get to meet the witch that's feet all curled up underneath the house?
That's her sister,
right? And is she the Wicked Witch of the East?
Well, I mean, she is in the Wizard of Oz, but it explains everything with how she became her tyrannical wickedness. She really wasn't a witch, though.
Tyrannical wickedness.
She wasn't. While it was supposed to be the Wicked Witch of the East in the book, she really wasn't a witch in that. The only witch was the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay.
And that's so
cool. But, anything else on that?
I'll see that in June, and then next year we've got more plays that we'll be seeing because we got a good series for Toledo. But I was also looking. Detroit announced theirs, and Hamilton's coming next year, March, April, which is a big deal. I want to see Aladdin's coming out, and we're talking about going to see that. And I'm trying to think. There's another one I wanted to see, but I'm like, Waitress is coming. That looks pretty good too. I remember seeing the movie, and Sarah Bareilles does the music for this, so it's supposed to be really good.
All right. Well, coming up any minute now, and in a couple more minutes at least, John should be calling in, so in case he calls early, we'll transition here. We already spoke about our sponsors up front, so we could dedicate some time to John here, but John Clark is someone both Brett and I have known for many years through the Comic-Con circuit.
I remember meeting him when he's been a vendor where he's resold artwork from other artists. He'd buy it from them to resell and work out deals with them.
Right.
He does prop building, and he makes the best Captain America shields.
It's an awesome Captain America shield.
And they're all metal. They're huge.
And we got John calling in now. Hello, John. You there, John?
No, I'm not.
Oh, that might not have been him.
Okay.
Let's see if he calls back. All right. Well, we'll know in a second.
Call back, John.
But he makes an awesome Captain America shield that's a full size, made out of metal.
Yep.
And he does leather it all straps. In different colors and the leather straps. And they're very durable and pretty awesome.
They're heavy.
I think you could actually use it to stop some bullets.
Yeah.
Actually, someone online made one similar to his, and they actually tested it out, and it worked pretty well. But then he also does these cool ones where they're the Captain America shield, but instead of the star in the center, he'll do the different logos and the color scheme. So he has like a Punisher one. Mm-hmm. The center is the Punisher skull. Then it's a black and silver pattern for the stripes. It looks sweet.
I'm telling you, I get an extra like $700 to $1,000 sitting around. I don't know what to do with. I'm getting him to make me a shield.
That's right. That'd be pretty sweet.
Because he's done others. He's done stuff with helmets. I know he's had some banners made that he's designed based on like Star Wars and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I know he does a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. And
so more than just metal stuff, but he's definitely prop building is a big thing for him.
Yeah, he does a lot of custom masks and costumes and things like that. But so while we're waiting for John to call in, one way you can help him, because he had this house fire occur and he's lost a lot of his stuff, a lot of the merchandise and I believe even the equipment he uses to make his props was lost. So and this is his career. This is how he makes his money. And so if you go on to GoFundMe, I posted it in the thread here on the live stream. If you go on to GoFundMe and you do a search for John Clark Fire Relief Fund, type that in, you'll find it. The main picture is you see the front of his house and you can see the fire damage on there. Do that, and it's John, John is John. So you can do there, and you can follow his prop building page, which is at Custom Prop on Facebook, so you can go there and follow him. But a lot of cool stuff. He's a big Star Wars fan and stuff.
Yeah,
and
he's done other. We know he's done some acting and stunt work here and there, so maybe we'll get him to talk about that when he calls in.
So,
I guess I used to see him on some of the Kids WB in between bumpers. They interviewed him at Comic-Cons, and he's dressed up as John Stewart, the Green Lantern.
Yeah. So while we wait for John to call in, which could be any second now, do we transition to something else and come back?
Well, we can do that. Well, I know you've been doing some real estate lately.
Yep, real estate's been booming right now. We got tons of appointments going on. So if you're in the Michigan area and you want to find out your home's value, go to www.scottzambelli.com or on Facebook, Realtor Scott Z. You can find me there and contact me through there too, or through my website. But it's been booming.
Awesome.
So definitely. How about you, Brett? Where can people find your
BrettPinson.com as my website, and I've got a link on there for my Facebook PP Creations. And then I was working on some pages yesterday, a little bit here and there when I had some time, and
for Boontown
Scabs 5, and was doing a little scribbling last night and started working on a new idea for a print. So
awesome.
Things like that. Just trying to get back into it. I've been working so much and getting away from it. It's like I can't let it go too long. And
that's where I'm at too. Where it's like getting back into my groove of my drawing pattern. How I was is like I got out of it for so long. It's like my routine's not quite back yet. So I have this large Star Wars piece I've been working on, and
you've been sharing that. It looks great.
Yeah, thanks. This one I'm putting a lot of time into, and the plan is when it's done, it's going to be printed as an oversized piece. I want to say I have it at like 14 by 28 or something.
Nice.
It's going to be a very customized piece that I'm only going to do limited print runs of, and it should look really nice. So it'll be a high-end piece, but highly, limited. Yeah. So we'll see how it comes out. Hopefully it comes out as good as I hope. You never know. Like I go through this process where I think a lot of people go through this where, you have the vision, you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Then you start putting it on paper. Then you get to the tedious part where it's like, oh, why am I putting so much detail in this? Then you get to the point where you're like, oh my God, this is going to look horrible. What am I doing? But then you keep pushing through. Then you get to the point where you're like, oh, this isn't half bad. Yeah. So right now I just passed the tedious part where I separate everything into layers and have everything masked out. So now I get to do the fun part of the shading. But then usually when I first start coloring is when I'm like, oh, I've ruined it. Why am I doing this? Can I just do everything in black and white? So definitely. But I'm going to send a text over to John here just to see where he's at.
Yeah, if it was him calling and he's having trouble, let us know what's going on there. And that, but as I was telling before, I'm working on Scabs 5. I'm going to try to get it done for Motor City. I'm just, I'm concentrating on working, getting things going there. Things are going well there. I'm kind of financially a lot more stable than I was 6 months ago, so that's helped me out immensely. Now, of course, one thing we didn't talk about, we were up in Flint. Speaking of financials, we were up there doing a Comic-Con, like the Flint Farmers Market with Randy, who was on the other week. So I had a great time. For those that don't know, Michigan got stuck back into January over the weekend, and we had a lot of ice and a little bit of snow, and some places got accumulated snow, but most of it was just the nasty ice and icy rain. And so we were up there, and while the crowd was a little lighter than what we expected, it was the only fault with that was the weather. Randy does a great job promoting it, and a lot of people that came out for the superhero run, normally they would come in, but they were also soaked. They left and went home to warm up, basically.
Yeah, I was happy with the turnout, all things considered, because who would have thought we'd have winter ice storms like 20 minutes north of us. They actually shut the highway down because it was so icy.
Oh, they had bad accidents.
Yeah, it was crazy. They actually shut the highway down. And,
my friend Maggie and her husband now had to come down because her brother went in the hospital unexpectedly, and he's going to be fine, it looks like. They came down on I think Friday night, and then they went home Sunday and had to stop in Mount Pleasant because they got stopped by all the snow that was there, and the roads were shut down, so they had to wait until Monday to get home.
Right.
So it was just a really bad weekend. I mean, I worked all day Sunday too, out and about in the rain and the cold, and everybody was apologizing for me having to be out there. I'm like, well, I chose to be because it's part of the job. I didn't feel like I was worried about getting hurt or anything like that. It was just cold and damp and wet. So, but just kind of one of those weird, flukes that we get. I look at people's Facebook from a year ago, they're all saying, oh, this time last year we were hitting like 80 degrees. It's like, yeah. And 10 years ago we were probably doing the same thing we're doing now.
In 1978 we had this type of weather.
Yeah.
We had record snowfall back then in April, so it's possible.
Yeah, we're like number 15 right now for all-time Aprils, and so it's just crazy.
Well, how about we do this? We started off air while we wait for John to call in.
Yeah.
Netflix has been doing such an awesome job with their shows. We started speculating off air or in our pre-show about what would be fun shows for Netflix to
I think there's a lot of
reboot.
obscure shows that could go and find.
Yeah.
We talked like a little bit about The Last Starfighter. We talked before, they've speculated on doing a Star Wars thing, but do you remember Misfits of Science?
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was only like a one-season thing. Had Courtney, what's her name from Friends. That was one of her first early acting gigs, a bunch of other people in that. That'd be an interesting premise to go back and look at again.
Misfits of Science. I vaguely remember. I remember the name. I can't remember the show itself.
I think that'd be an interesting one. They could definitely do and bring it up to bring that into more of the Netflix seriousness.
Or even like Netflix has been tackling animation.
Yeah.
They're hitting like every genre. But like with Voltron coming back, wouldn't it be cool I would love to see a modern He-Man animated series, but done well, like how Netflix does.
I've seen some rumors online them talking about trying to bring one back again.
Whoa, it's like they read my mind.
I know there's more talk of them actually doing a movie, and not like the Dolph Lundgren movie, but actually being more like the original series.
Yeah, but Sony keeps moving forward on that, then it gets canceled, then they start again. So I've given up hope on it. It's like I'm just at the point. They released some of the art for it, and it looks insanely good. And if they can pull it off, great. But part of He-Man, it's like, I don't know if live action can ever truly capture it.
No, it'd be a little difficult.
There's a cheesy factor to He-Man that I don't know how you pull it off.
But of course, if you go back, the original source material was the original mini comics with the toys when it first came out, before a year or so before the cartoon actually hit. And
the problem
that would actually be because those are actually a little darker.
Here's the problem with doing He-Man as a live action now.
Yeah.
Because if you do it as a live action, they're probably going to cast The Rock as He-Man and give him a stupid blonde wig. Because who do you get to play that, or John Cena? Who do you get? Those are like the only two options to play He-Man.
Well, I mean, they could do that. Or what about the guy that played who played Conan in those movies a couple years ago?
Oh, that was Jason Momoa.
Yeah, well, you can do it.
Yeah,
he's already grown his hair out. He can just dye it blonde.
Once again, he looked kind of weird with a blonde wig.
Just dye his hair blonde. He could do it.
You never know with today's political climate who they'll cast as He-Man.
I know. See, they need to do it kind of like it truly. Instead of making him the same size when he's Adam, they need to get someone a lot smaller to play the Adam character, and then
get Chris Evans. Then we can have Chris Evans. Chris Evans will play He-Man. He's going to theoretically he'll be done with Captain America soon. So Deidre thinks it's just wrong.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's talking about The Rock with a He-Man wig.
Yeah. Of course, I always liked the Swayze movie Roadhouse, and about 10 years ago or so, maybe less than that, Timac, who was in the Last Dragon movie, did a stage production, and he had a blonde wig on because he's African American. So, and I remember seeing pictures going, I would see this. This looked hilarious, and I think they did it like a musical too, which would be just funny, but it never went anywhere. But it was like way off Broadway.
Let's see. So another one I would love to see, but once again, you got these screwy rights owners involved.
Right.
Gatchaman, which was known as G-Force or Battle of the Planets in the States.
Yes.
There's been a couple of attempts to bring Gatchaman back, but the rights owner is just... There's always issues, and it never happens. But for those who don't know, Gatchaman was the original 5-person team that Voltron and all these other shows were modeled off of and move forward with. But that was an awesome show. I loved a lot. I have the box sets at home of when they did the Faithful translations of Gatchaman into English.
I think I got the first series of that one, and that was great.
Gatchaman?
Gatchaman.
Yeah?
Gatchaman, yeah. The original ones were great. When they did it's got the Japanese version, but then it's got the true dub.
Yeah.
So you get the stories are a little more adult compared to what we got as kids.
A lot more. And they curse in them, and and so when they brought them to the States, the first rendition of it was Battle of the Planets, because they had to edit a lot of the stuff out of it, and plus Star Wars was big at the time, so they wanted to make it more spacey, and that's where the Battle of the Planets came in. But because they chopped up the story so much, they had to come up with I forget the robot's name. They had the robot who would come in and narrate certain parts, because there'd be a chunk of story missing, so the robot would come in and fill in the gap.
Right.
And because the big thing was the villain. They couldn't have this in American child cartoon TVs. Zoltar?
Sounds about right, yeah.
The main villain, if you look at him, he looks a little odd, like lipstick lips and stuff. Well, it turns out in the original series, it turns out he's a hermaphrodite is what it is, and there's a reveal at some point they couldn't have that. So what they did is, when they revealed it in the American series, it turned out his sister was dressed as him and it turned out to be a female, but so they had to change the whole storyline. It was really bizarre what happened there. But like another example where you couldn't have it on American TV was, there's this scene that happens. This one character, she's a side character that comes in for a couple episodes. Her family is killed by the bad guys.
Yeah.
And she's on board the ship, and they find the bad guy's location. And I always mix up the character names because they're different in each series. It's Mark or Ken, the leader. He's like, we found the enemy base, and we need you to launch these missiles to destroy the base. And she's like, but I'll kill hundreds of people. He's like, you gotta do it. You gotta get revenge for your family. And she's like, I don't want to. He goes up to her, smacks her, and then he grabs her and physically pulls her across the ship and forces her hand to push the button to launch these missiles and kill all these people. And then she's devastated that she killed all these people, and he's just lecturing her out. It's too bad. You have to do it. I'm just sitting there thinking, can you imagine if this was on Saturday morning cartoons?
Well, you're right. That show was syndicated along with Robotech, which was a chopped up version of Macross.
Yep.
And that's another one. If they went back and want to do a Netflix version of Macross, would be pretty cool. I think that's the one I wouldn't mind seeing go live action with. So
that would be pretty sweet, especially with the whole that kind of my interest in that kind of renewed with Ready Player One, watching the Gundam. Yeah, it's like Robotech, and
Robotech had their Veritech fighters, which were fighter jets that could turn into half fighter, half robot, and then full robot mode,
which became Jetfire in the Transformer toy series. Yeah. But then when they turned him into a cartoon character, they had to actually change the whole design because they didn't have the rights. They had the rights for the toy, but not for the show. Yeah. So then they had to change his name from Jetfire to Skyfire, and it was all this weird stuff that happened. So he looked completely different in the series. Well, I did send a message to John, so I'm not sure where John's at. Unfortunately, I don't have John's phone number, so I sent it through Facebook. So hopefully everything's okay with John. Well, let's give a shout out to his GoFundMe again. Yeah. If you go over on GoFundMe and you type in John Clark Fire Relief Fund, you can go there. Or if you are on our live stream here, I'm posting the link right now again. And he's a great guy. He's got a daughter who recently graduated from high school. I believe so. Yes, I think it's from high school. Yeah. So hopefully everything's okay there. But yeah, any help you can give. He's just under $3,000 right now for the money raised, and definitely could use a lot more. Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that no matter where see him in the show, he knows Mom, of course, and loves seeing Mom, and he'll actually make a point to come say hi to her and us as well. And I love his work ethic. He works hard. He hits a lot of shows, and he's out there just making it happen. And for this to hit, it's always it's tough enough at shows sometimes, but to have this devastate your ability to earn, that's where it's really hard. I mean, it's bad losing everything is one thing, but then you lose the inventory inventory and other items that you actually are selling to make
and I think it's really the only thing he's worried about mostly is ability to continue to make a living and get back into that swing, because he'll go back and just earn again and work hard to do that. But he's always one of the nicest guys at the shows. He's huge. I mean, he's a big guy. He's like, what, 6'4". You know, he's like The Rock big almost. Not as big muscle wise, but he's got good size on him. But he's definitely a big guy, and he's like I said, he's got some awesome props. I love the stuff he makes. Every time I go there, he's got something new.
Definitely, yeah. So go to GoFundMe. Any little bit helps, and it'd be greatly appreciated. I know you guys are awesome, so just prove how awesome you are, so we can brag about you some more.
And we posted on the Odd Music site, so definitely share that on your page too, so other people can catch
Deidre just notified me that our nerd is on full force today.
Awesome.
We try to keep it on a 10 all the time.
Yes. Actually, I want to go 11. We need to get the 11 going.
Yeah. Let's see. Any other series pop up into mind that you would love to see renewed?
Oh, man. I look back at some of the older series they did. There were some campy series I liked as a kid that barely had like
Three's
a season.
Company?
Well, Three's Company was all right. That one, though,
that was the same episode every episode.
Yeah, if they did that one now, people are like, why? Who cares if he's gay? He's not really gay.
They'd have to make up a different premise. It's like he's a closet Republican. He's living in California. He's hiding the fact that he votes Republican.
Yeah.
That would be today's premise.
Yeah. Like I said, we mentioned like Buck Rogers would be a fun one. That
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon would be really cool if they could do something like that.
know.
What?
There's two different ones that would be awesome on Netflix. John Carter.
John Carter of Mars.
John Carter.
That would be
an awesome series.
I love the Disney movie.
Yeah, and, I did too.
And it just didn't get the respect I think it deserved.
I don't understand that. I think
those are ones actually. His books, I believe, are getting ready. Some of those to hit public domain. So who knows what could happen after that happens?
Yeah.
So.
But Netflix doing it as a series,
that would be cool. Well, yeah, they could take each one because they have several books in the John Carter series. They could make that a season and do it like a Game of Thrones style or
that would be awesome.
Stranger Things style, with that little darker elements to it and that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
A Harry Potter Netflix series.
Well, see, I've said that for years.
That would be cool because they could really get
each season would be a book.
Yeah, or just take it a whole new direction. You could visit Durnstrom or whatever.
Well, that'd be instead of calling it Harry Potter, then just call it the Wizarding World.
Right.
You have Fantastic Beasts is set in the Wizarding World.
Because you could get the actor. You could take it a few years ahead. Get the actor who played the Quidditch guy.
Oh yeah. Victor
von
Krum.
You could talk about how he's heartbroken because Hermione left him, and maybe he becomes a Dark Lord on a broom. And
well, they do it like in the book. I believe she gave him a pen and paper to write letters, and that something go. I've been trying to write, and I.
But you could easily do that. I bet he would take it.
There's so much that she set up on her Pottermore that could explore.
There's so much
that stuff on there. I personally thought if they wanted to redo the instead of the movies, take the books and do them as a series. You take each book and it becomes a season basically.
Yeah.
And as they get bigger, then you can actually spend it out. Kind of like they did with Lemony Snicket. They've made each book a 2-episode thing.
Right.
They're not very thick books, but there's a lot more detail within the Harry Potter stuff. So.
Oh.
Is that? Yes,
now. John just messaged now, so he might be calling in.
Okay, well, you should reply to that.
I'm going to. I got to get out to go to it.
Definitely, there's a lot of stuff I like to see out there. Obscure ones. Tales of the Gold Monkey was an old series from the early 80s, set in the 30s. It was an Indiana Jones type show. That'd be interesting to see if they could do something with that.
I wonder if he's in a different time zone.
No, I think Louisville's in the same time zone as us.
Okay, I said yup.
Okay, good.
So we should be getting John back here.
Yep.
Anticipation.
Yes, he's going to be calling. We've been waiting all day. It's almost like waiting for Santa Claus, so...
John would make a good Santa Claus.
There we go.
John, are you there?
I am here.
All right.
Yeah.
We got you on the air. Welcome aboard.
Hey. Well, hey, good morning.
Good morning. We were bragging on you a bit before you got on, so you got to live up to the hype now.
Oh, that's pressure, more pressure, no.
So we were just telling everybody, we've known you for a lot of years through the Comic-Con circuit. And when did you start doing comic book conventions?
Man, I would probably go as far as back as maybe 2012, maybe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I started in 2010.
Yeah.
So right at the same time.
In fact, I think you were the second. I met you at my second show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we remember we used to share rooms or hotel rooms.
I do remember that. Back in the day.
Oh, so you used to be the one to have to cuddle with Scott, huh?
Yeah, it was like, okay, it's weird, but they broke me in.
We broke him in. Yeah, with John, I had to be the little spoon.
I didn't realize you guys were at mountains. Okay.
But yeah, and we were also mentioning your GoFundMe. I posted the link to it on our thread here. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you had a fire occur at your home.
I did, and I'll give you some more details on it. We had an investigator come over from Farm Bureau Insurance, and I was renting, so they, the landlords wanted to know what happened exactly, and they were, at the time of the fire, they were questioning me, did I leave the stove on? And I was like, no, I don't remember leaving the stove on, and I don't cook, so so I was in the process of moving. The end of this month would have been, it was my last month, so I was boxing things up, and I had set, boxes half packed on my counters and on my stove, wherever I had room I could put stuff at. However, to go back, and let me date this back, about 4 to 6 months ago, my stove had some issues with it, so I had a repairman come out and fix it, and then I would turn the stove on, and then all of a sudden it would go from low heat. Then I'd turn around and, I'd have some eggs or something on the stove or whatever. And then it would just be hot. It would be on high heat. And I'm like, whoa, I don't remember that. So I called him back out a second time, and he did something to it. And he's like, I think this has got it. So, it didn't have any problems with it for a while. And of course, I haven't been doing my all protein diet, like, eating half a dozen eggs every morning. And I haven't been doing that for 3 or 4 months. So I don't know if the stove was turning on by itself and then turning off. Well, apparently the investigator, going back to that, said that my stove was in recall status for having that problem.
Oh.
So he got in the serial number and went online and found it. Oh man, your LG stove is big for that problem. Have you ever noticed it? I said, no, I've not really noticed it. I mean,
oh wow.
And of course I never had anything on the stove unless it was, because of my moving right now, I had stuff all over the place on every counter. So,
right.
And I think what happened was that burned up from there, and that's how it ended up happening. But man, I tell you, I didn't have renter's insurance because of, I don't know, man. I should have gotten it.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of times when people are renting, they don't get it. They don't think about it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Whatever I can do to help people.
Were you home when this happened, or were you on the road?
Oh, talk about a blessing, man. A friend of mine said, it was like okay, so I build props and stuff. So I also get I do lightsabers and stuff like that. So I had a professional company do some work for me as far as foam polishing some lightsabers for me. So a friend of mine was like, man, let's go pick those lightsabers up. So we'll grab some food while we're out. Okay, so he picks me up, and I'm not kidding you, man. It's probably 20 minutes after I left. I get a call from the neighbor saying, John, are you in the house? Dude, you didn't answer my phone. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I had my headset in, so, when you have your Bluetooth on, it didn't ring. It really is. And he's called me I have to look at my phone, and he called me 3 times. And, man, I'm out front of the house, and we called the authorities. I'm like, dude, your house blew up. I was like, what the heck, dude? We just left, man.
Oh, it actually exploded? It actually exploded?
Yeah, it exploded 3-4 times. That's what everyone's saying. Yeah, So it was like boom, first boom, and then the guy said, "Okay, maybe John's moving some stuff around." You know, neighbors know I was moving. The second boom was louder.
Maybe, how loud are you?
All right, John, you're a big guy. How big are your weights, man?
Exactly. And so, you know, and I used to move some big weights. So I mean, you know, he said the second boom shook something on his counter, and he was like, "Man, let me go and just." He turned around and looked, and he saw these flames rolling out of my window.
Wow. Oh, man.
So he and my car, of course, was there because my friend came and picked me up. And he's flipping out like he's thinking, "Wow, your car, you're there." So he got to the front door and saw, you know, bricks falling off the house because it was so hot. And he went, you know, and then another boom, and it kind of, he pushed him back. Well, that boom was in the back, so it blew the back door clear off the hinges on the back of the house.
Wow. So if you were there, you might not even been time to get out.
Yeah, there's no way. I wouldn't be having this conversation today if I was there. And so, gosh, man, I tell you what, we rushed back to the house, and man, there must have been 8 fire trucks, all over the place, and EMTs, and they had to block off 3 blocks. No one could even get close to the street I live on.
Right.
So I was like, okay, so I got to walk up, and we walked through the barricade and say, "Hey, can you let us through here? Because I think that's my house." And so they let us in, and I walk up to they keep me out in the street. They're like, you know, we're still trying to get the fires out and stuff. You know, they're like, "What do you have in there? You know, are you cooking something illegal or something?" I mean, just to keep, you know. And I'm like, "Well, I'm a prop maker, so, you know, and I usually work out of my garage, but because the weather has been so cold, I've had to bring boxes of my paint in the house to keep them room temperature." Right. So, and that was, of course, you know, boom, was one of the explosions. The hot water gas tank blew up. Boom, that was another explosion. You know, I know I had a big, I just bought a can of, the acetone paint. I mean, that had to be one of the explosions, you know. It was like, wow, you know, and it was just, man, I tell you what, it took me maybe 2 or 3 days to realize I don't have anything anymore. Right. You know what I mean? I just, you know, and it was just, by the grace of God, the molds that I did have in the house, they're, you know, when I mix chemicals, that chemical heat is up to 130, 140 degree temperature, and they were in a box, so the silicone molds actually withstood a lot of heat. So, besides all the soot that was all over the place, I mean, literally everything was covered in black soot. I've never seen that before. I mean, I never understood a fire until, you know, actually living through this one. That's most, and the damage, and I tell you, man, I mean, it didn't get to my bedroom. The fire didn't per se. The heat did, and the soot got to my bedroom.
Yeah, so, a lot of times the smoke alone, the soot and smoke will ruin so much.
Yeah, you know, and okay, don't forget the fire department's water. Oh, you know, true. The water they're pushing in the house. Yeah. That, oh my gosh, it turned the soot into 9 inches thick of mud / soot in the floors. So it was getting, you know, I had to get boots to walk in there to get what I did have I could salvage. Right. You know, through that. So that was a terrible thing for me to go through. Man, I had so much beautiful. I had a nice display of personalized props signed by, you know, Jeremy Bullock and Daniel, you know, things like that from the Emperor, a lot of autographs, you know, from my con, you know, because there's a lot. I'm a nerd too. I love the autographs just like the next person, you know. Right. And so, you know, all that stuff and all those investments I had made and all those things, and the family pictures, you know, my daughters and everything and all that, you know, the things that, you know, that I kept, you know, for myself, you know, those were all gone as well. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know. That's got to be the hardest. I mean, because those, you know, once those kind of things are gone, how do you get them back, you know, unless you already have them uploaded digitally. There's no way of getting those. Yeah. You know. Well, that's gone too. You know, everything I had on my laptop and all my, you know, memory sticks, those are all melted too. It was just, I guess everything's in my brain now.
Right.
That's all I have. All of what I got as far as memories are in my brain, I guess.
Now,
I'll have you draw them. How's that?
There you go. Yeah. How about now for you the Comic-Cons are a big way that you make a living. Do you have inventory to sell right now, or is it just the lightsabers that you had on hand?
Oh, no. Yeah. So here's the good thing about the fact that I did have that garage and it didn't get touched. So when I did finish something, and I take it in the house and I'll do the detail paint work and stuff like that. And then once I get finished putting it all together, I take it out to the garage where I keep my inventory.
Oh, good.
So what I did, that stuff stayed, and all my art that I'm a broker from, artists,
right.
And stuff, that was okay. My backdrop was okay. Things, everything. My truck was okay. So it was good. Like, okay, well, right. So I still have product on that end. It's just a matter of, now you got to rebuild everything else. The rest of your life has to get put back in order. Yep, exactly. So I tell you, if anybody can walk away from this thing, please make sure you have renter's insurance, or I don't even have life insurance. So it was like, okay, maybe I should think about that, because I don't want that to, my daughters to be put with that, unexpected burden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How old's your daughter?
Oh gosh, I've got three of them. They're 23, just 2 days ago birthday. We talked about an emotional birthday. 23, 21, and going to be 19 here in July.
All right.
So how's your daughter's about what, my 21? Yeah,
she's
21.
She's 18, going on to 30.
I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to. I know. Yeah, don't rush it. Yeah, I know she's always been a taller girl, so I thought she was a little older back then. They mature fast now.
Definitely. But so you mentioned you're a big nerd at heart, and and for those listening, go on GoFundMe if you look up John Clark Fire Relief Fund. You'll find it there, and I'm also posting the links into the thread of our Facebook live feed here, so you can go to either one of those. Also, John, if you want to follow John's prop page, it's Galaxy Creations, it's called, and on Facebook that's at Custom Prop. Yep. So you can find it that way on Facebook to follow and see your stuff. Can people buy your props online?
Oh, absolutely. Etsy's one of my biggest tools to market. And most of my inventory that's available is on Etsy. So
perfect. How do people find you on Etsy?
It's Galaxy Props on Etsy.
Okay. So go to Galaxy Props on Etsy, and you can favorite him as a vendor too. So even if you're not buying something right now, make sure to favorite him so if you can buy stuff later if it's not right now.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate that.
Definitely. Yeah, you make amazing stuff. Brett and I always are daydreaming about your Captain America shields, and I love the Punisher shield you made.
Thank you. Yeah,
those are handmade out of metal.
What's that?
You hand make those out of metal, and they just look amazing. And then you got the leather straps on the inside.
Yeah, and those I stopped making.
Did you?
When those kind of got me into the game. Yeah, when I first met you, I was making those quite abundantly. Yeah, because they didn't offer them in the real world. So, so I was one of the two, maybe three people, right, in the world that actually produced those. I had a friend of mine with a metal shop, and we would just get together and I'd say, man, I'm going to do a Captain America cosplay, and I did one, and people at the shows were like, whoa, where'd you get that shield, man? I mean, they didn't even recognize or acknowledge. Some people would know it was the character I was dressed up as. It's Isaiah Bradley. It's a novel. It's about how the super soldier serum was tested on a bunch of maybe African American, maybe minority people before it was actually tested into the real world.
Oh, okay.
And it's a really good novel if you ever get to read that. It's called Truth. But anyways, I cosplayed that as one of my first, and it happened to have the Captain America shield, similar to the Captain America shield, and people would just take pictures of me, and they loved that. So a person saw the shield at the show, and they were like, "Hey, can you make that?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what to charge the person, but I charge him basically materials, and I don't know." And he was like, "Oh my gosh," he told this other person, and of course that wildfire spread, and I said, "You know what? Oh my gosh, maybe I should start doing props. Maybe that's my calling."
Right.
So, and then it's funny, huh?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny that Disney got a hold of me, and I'm like, okay, oh boy, I'm in trouble now. I'm thinking, I did WonderCon, and the guy walked up to me and was like, "Hey, here's my card. We'll be getting in touch." I'm tripping out. I'm flipping the whole show.
The mouse found me.
I don't think of copyright stuff like that while I'm making props, and I'm like, oh boy,
Right, you're doing
so the guy emails me and says, "Hey, we need 2 of your shields," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Okay," you know what I mean? Just all of a sudden, I got the email, and I'm like, oh boy, here's my Monday. Here's a good way to start my Monday.
Right.
So they ordered two of my shields, and to come to find out, they put them at both locations in Florida and Florida and Disney in California, and their Captain America, display.
Awesome.
And I was like, no way, that's so awesome. And I was like, man, we went to Disney and we saw your shield. I was like, are you sure it was my shield? I was like, yeah, man, we know your stuff.
I've seen it then. I know we've seen it.
We've seen it then. Yeah. Very cool.
So amazing. So yeah, so it was pretty exciting, and I kept making them until, of course, the market dies down. You know how everything goes up high,
and now you do. You have a lot of really cool custom masks that you do of various characters, and like you said, you got the lightsabers.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. New thing is, everyone's like, they love the glow sticks, man. They like to, they make them now where you can actually go out and spar with them and do LARPing, which is kind of like an intense, training with, lightsabers kind of thing. And so it's kind of like the big thing right now. And so there's a lot of people out there that sell them. I just happen to love the Old Republic.
Right.
The Old Republic. Oh my gosh, the video game KOTOR and Star Wars: The Old Republic. I mean, it was just a big. It's been a big thing for my life. And you'll notice on my Etsy page when you'll see a lot more. SWOTOR, that's how we pronounce it.
John keeps bugging me to make a Revan artwork piece. I got to do it someday.
Oh my gosh! you've been on my top of the list.
I know, and I haven't done it yet.
Do a commission for me. I want to broker you for like 5 pieces that would oh my gosh, it'd help with our daughter's college funds.
Yeah. We'll talk. We'll definitely talk about it.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, are you still drawing? I know you're in the real estate business. Are you still drawing?
I'm still drawing, not as much, but I'm getting my time management down, so I'm balancing it. I'm starting to find that balance point where I can get artwork done still, but still do the other thing too.
Okay.
So so I've been getting back into it and enjoying it again. So
I mean, you're so talented with it. We're not supposed to stop the things that we enjoy. You know that, right? That's
I know
who we are.
Yeah, it's just trying to make a living is the hard part.
Oh, man.
I know you know.
That's another. That's another whole story.
You know the pains of living off of Comic-Cons.
Oh my gosh, it is. But it's like living check to check almost. Yeah.
Now, speaking of Comic-Cons, do you have any appearances coming up?
Yeah, in fact, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I'll be at that one this weekend. And then I was working on doing Great Philly. We're still in the works on that. I kind of came in late on it, and so some friends of mine are trying to see if they can squeeze me a table. I'm definitely going to MegaCon in Florida.
Okay, cool.
That's been a show I've booked quite some time now, and so that's going to be a.
Yep, that's.
Are you going to be at MegaCon by any chance? Or?
Not MegaCon. Brett will be at Tampa. Brett's got Tampa coming up. When's Tampa?
Okay.
August?
Yeah, August 3rd through the 5th. Tampa Bay Comic-Con.
Okay.
Will you be at Motor City?
Which one?
Motor City, Detroit.
You know how much I've been wanting to come to Motor City. I think the waiting list is.
It sells out quick.
Yeah. So
right.
it's always like it sells out when you put your application, or they need your application or invoice paid by when on the off times I have money. So I don't have money. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I run into that problem a lot too that time of year. It's like all of a sudden, there's all the top shows I want all want the money at the same time. I'm like, I can only afford one.
Well, if it's either Christmas or it's a kid's birthday, or, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, what do I do? It's like, I'll be at Superman Celebration in June.
Oh, where's that at?
That's a big.
That's Metropolis.
There's Metropolis, Illinois. It's pretty exciting. They took a whole town called the Metropolis, and they turn it into Superman Celebration every year between June, second week of June usually.
Nice.
And that's a big family-oriented show. Lots of people. It's like so much love when I go there, and of course they have the 40-foot statue of Superman in the middle of the thing, and it's just it's just one of those things that everyone it's good to see each other's kind of thing, and I think Superman's 40th anniversary or 50th or 60th. I can't.
Plus the 40th for the movie, for the Christopher Reeve movie.
Okay.
Because they're doing a thing at Motor City this year with the 40th anniversary. They got Margot Kidder coming in, Sarah Douglas.
When I heard that, my thought was, is she still alive?
There's no real proof of it, but she is still moving around.
For some reason, I thought she died a while ago, but that's bad.
Oh, gosh. I hope not. She's a sweet person.
She is. I know she had some issues there a few years back. She's a little
crazy.
But yeah. So, time's running out here. Anything else you want to make sure people know about, websites, anything like that?
As far as that, I think you've covered just about everything I can think of. I want to thank you both for doing this. This is fun. I would love to spread the word on this. I would love to be more, as a guest on your show if I can talk about anything besides, this sorrow that I'm living right now. But, if we could, I'd love to talk about Star Wars with you. I'm big.
We love nerding out.
Star Wars.
Well, you'll just have to drive up from Louisville, and we do this live on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and just come hang out with us. We'll take you to lunch afterwards.
No, I already said we can't do that because he's way too handsome and I'll look horrible next to him. So.
We'll put him behind a curtain. He'll be the man behind the curtain.
There we go. Yeah, we'll have to put you behind a curtain. We can put him behind our banner.
I'll tell you what to do. I'm pretty enough to handle you next to me. So next time that we're at the same show together, we're going to do an interview. We're going to actually do we'll throw it up on the video stuff, and we can showcase some of your props you got at the show. So next time I know we're going to be at a show together, you and I will sit down and talk.
Yeah, we'll get you on
and do that
stuff. Definitely.
And then
so awesome.
And then we'll let you know. We'll try to let you know sometime we're doing a call-in show. You can definitely call in anytime, or if you just say, "Hey, I got something to promote," get a hold of us. We'll have you call in again.
Yeah. So just a reminder to everybody listening: go to GoFundMe and look up John Clark Fire Relief Fund, and that's JOHN for John. Or right in our thread here, we've posted the link numerous times. I'll post it one more time before going off the air. You can click on that. Go to his Facebook page, Galaxy Creations, which is at Custom Prop, or go to his Etsy page, which is Galaxy Props.
Galaxy Props, right?
All right. I think we covered everything.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, John, you're a good friend. We love you dearly, and we, hopefully this will help get you back on your feet there.
So many thanks. Love you both too. You guys keep doing what you're doing, okay?
All right, Mom. And I know Mom sends her love too. She looks forward to seeing you soon. And
yes, Brett, you kiss your hugger for me. Well, I don't know if you can give her the kind of hugs I give her, but
I can't. But
she's so sweet.
But I know she's listening right now. So if you want to say something to her real quick before we go, you say it right now.
Yes, so you guys are so awesome.
All right, John. Well, God bless, and we'll see you on the road there.
Sounds good. Be
right.
safe, you. Okay.
All right. You take care.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Well, that was a great show. And
glad he was able to make it on the air. And
so let's wrap this up real quick here. And final thoughts is just check out our page for the John Clark stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, go to facebook.com/oddmusingspodcast. We've got links there too. And I guess next week we will come back with a lot more. This was episode 50, by the way. We're halfway to 100.
50. Oh,
so 2 weeks from now, we're doing our 1 year celebration. Yeah, I know.
5 more, and we can apply to AARP as a senior.
I thought it was 7, but
whatever.
I don't know. Oh no, it's 50. Actually, at 50 you can be AARP.
Oh, well, there you go.
The American Association of Really Old People. So on that note, thanks for joining us this week, and Dominic, take us out, man.